I'm gonna piggyback on Lila a little bit. I was born in 38, and during the war, starting in 41, 42, Nick and I and Ada came to Minneapolis and lived at Hycroft this summers, primarily to protect Nick and me from polio, because Mom was working in the hospital and there was a lot of polio down there, and they thought it was less polio in Minneapolis, and also to protect Ada. And probably my most dastardly thing I've almost ever done in my life was, we used to sneak down when we were taking naps, and we crawled down from the second floor on the drain pipes, and we'd go out and play. And one day we went down to the pasture, which is right next to 15 along the railroad tracks. Now there was no 15 there when this time. And I was chasing a steer, and the steer got its legs caught in the barbed wire, and I didn't know how to free it, and we snuck back up the drain pipe, went to bed, or didn't go to bed, sleep, believe me. And the steer died. And the next day, the Munns family ran Hycroft for many, many years, and I was out with one of the Munnses in a pickup truck, and one of us he mentioned that there was a steer killed, and I said, yes, it must have been dogs. He said, looked at me and said, yes, two-legged dogs. But
Just remind them that it was a working farm with champion,
Oh,
Guernsey's
oh
champion.
yes, in the 30s, before the war, they had a world champion, I think, probably, Guernsey dairy herd, and they took him out to the World's Fair out in San Francisco, I think it was. And when I was playing around in Hycroft's attics, we found all the gold, bronze, gold, and silver medals that they won at that fair. And
Your mother at my used to take anyone available of the grandchildren to the state fair every year, also to Excelsior Amusement Park.
I like that.
But to the state fair to see the Hycroft Guernsey herd, which won every war in the state. That's so the vast area of Hycroft was, you had your home, that beautiful mansion, and the lawns, but you also had lots of pasture land and fields of corn and grains, and with chickens and hogs and all that stuff.
The only building that is still staying from Hycroft is the old garage. And the garage had a big front door, a turntable, so you could put, I forget, it was two on a side or one on the side, you just turn them.
6 cars.
And who was the chauffeur? Herman? Not Herman?
Yeah,
Herman.
Herman Peterson.
Yeah, Herman Peterson, and he drove Granddad to work every day, as far as I know. I don't know that Granddad ever drove himself to work, because Herman and his wife lived up on the top of that garage, and that garage is presently a house in Hycroft, but that's the only one there.
They went on until Granddad died.
Oh, yes. Yes, they lived with Granddad. When Granddad moved out of Hycroft at 52 or 3, he bought a house over in what we call Maplewood, which is really directly across the bay from this little town of Wayzata. And Herman was with him until he died.
Herman was also the magnificent driver when we got married and everyone else in the family chased us. How many here can imagine how 19 or whoever was available would be chasing the bride and groom? And we had hoses on George and Jane. They chased me. Harry and I were having ice thrown through the transom, and all the power turned off. I mean,
Here's the Guernseys.
There we go. And it all started with Uncle Peavy, of course.
You pulled some pranks.
He got the prize. He actually, when a cousin of his, look at that beautiful calf. When a cousin of his was getting married, they got on the train and he put a crate of chickens in their room and a greased New Hampshire hog in the bathroom. That all got loose. And that was Mary Ellen's Scaife, Aunt Fan's daughter that this happened to. And the Scaifes never said a word, and a year later, they sent to Uncle Peavy COD, a full-grown New Hampshire hog. Uncle Peavy never thought it was funny. But if you've seen Some Like It Hot, you know, you run up and down with the upper and lower berths. You can picture a whole crate of chickens and a greased pig running around here.
Tom asked the question about